you've got 3 halls, just like it was like that last year. Very popular this year, I must say. Completely packed, and the car parks are as well.
So I'm Tom Kartos. I've been making battle maps for about 5 years, primarily digitally, but we've recently expanded into physical battle map books. So we have a series of 9 different books, each with a different theme. This is our newest set, which we just finished on Kickstarter, which is the urban theme. So we have traders and dwellings. This is towns and cities, and then we have castles and keeps. Each book has 35 full spread maps, and you get 2 versions of each map. There's one like this, which is the marketplace. You get the same map as an unfurnished base to customize yourself. We include these reusable asset stickers, and you can also use a dry erase marker or your own 3D terrain. The idea being that this makes GM prep much quicker and easier. So if you need something in the middle of the battle and you're not ready for it, it's here for you. Or if you want something to prep in advance without too much effort, you can do that as well.
That's great. I just love the variations of all the different maps that you do, and then you've got 30 in a pack, so that gives you plenty of a world to explore and make, you know,
That's
with
the idea,
you want to play it with.
We try to cover all the bases, as well as the urban setting. We have 2 other volumes, one of which is overworld biomes, like deserts, jungles, mountains, oceans, and forests. And we have a more underworld series, which is things like caverns, dungeons, and ruins.
That's brilliant. That's great. Excellent. But yeah, you've got plenty of them over there, haven't you? So yeah, so you're the designer of all of these.
I am, yes.
Yeah, that's excellent. Really
Thank you very
good.
much.
Well, thank you for speaking with us, Tom.
Of course. Hope you have a great day.
I wish you all the best.
So this is our advent calendar, but it has a small mystery game built inside. So first you open a number door each day. Let's take for example a third one here, and there is a clue. And with this clue you try to find the correct door from all of these unnumbered doors here in the middle of the picture. And well, we can for example try this one. We have these balls with different colors, and if we look at the picture, we might find something referring to that. Oh, that one there looks familiar. And if we open the door, the picture changes every day. And from the number there, you can see that you have found the correct door for that day.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So that's basically how it works, but some of the clues can be like multiple pictures, and sometimes even though you find the small detail in the picture, there might not be a door right there, and then you have to figure out where the actual door is.
Oh, I see. So it's a bit more challenging, that one, isn't it, to work out?
Yeah, it gets a little bit more challenging towards the end, but overall, most of the clues are pretty simple.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So the further you go, the closer you get to 24, the harder it gets.
Yeah, there are 27 of these unnumbered doors. So you have something to do even on the last day. So there are more unnumbered doors than the numbered ones.
Excellent. Oh, brilliant. So what was your name?
My name is Suvi. I'm from Finland.
That's great. Thank you, Sylvie.
Thank you.
Well, it is great speaking to the different stall holders, and you get kind of an idea then, don't you, of what's in front of you, and you might want to buy the game. And as you can see how long this length of games is that you can purchase. We've got so many games here that you might find something you would really like. Wayland Games, they've got a lot of games that you can buy online. Huge library. Well, Carcassonne, I used to play that for ages. Really, really good game. It's a tile placement game, and you have to build roads, cities. And they've got the newer artwork now. They've got a lot of expansions to make the game even bigger. I must say, I'm really liking the new artwork for Carcassonne.
Yeah.
Is there a new edition coming out?
So yes, this is the latest edition that's been out with the beautiful new artwork. So this came out in 2021. We are expecting a big delivery in, hopefully in June, which will be a restock of the base game, all of the 9 expansions, the big box, and the Mists over Carcassonne as well. And as soon as that comes into us, we'll be distributing that out to all the retailers.
That's great, because there's so many fans of Carcassonne
it's an absolute classic. It's what most people started gaming with. And it's wonderful that it's still in people's collections, that people are still interested in it, and it's great to pick people into the hobby.
Fantastic. So the new artwork, there'll be a big box with all the expansions.
The big box has all of the expansions in it, so it's a great way of just buying the main game and getting lots of extras to play as well.
That's brilliant. Excellent. That's really encouraging news for Carcassonne,
Absolutely.
isn't it?
It's good for Carcassonne fans and good for people in the hobby.
Marvellous. Thank you.
No worries. You're welcome.
Well, there you go. You've got the family zone. So this is really good for the family. Lots of games for kids. Hi there, Gareth. I must admit, I really like this whole concept because it's all to do with rehoming, isn't it?
But we're an animal rescue charity called Fireplace, and we started creating our first game last year. We now have a set collection and race game based on the animal rescue called Fireplace the game, and we have 3 affordable card games: Wolf Days, Cat Days, and Dino Days. Simple take that games, but they are all fundraisers for the charity.
Oh, that's great. That's really good, isn't it? It's so, I mean, obviously charity is so important, but to do with animals, and you made a game about this as well.
Well, I think fundraising can be a bit boring sometimes, so we wanted to sort of give people something, one, that they can afford in this climate, a bit of fun for a fiver. But we're also developing some new games over here. We've got a game called Litter Tray, where you're basically cleaning out litter trays, deciding when to bank your poo. We've got Space Days in pilot, and we've got others in development.
That's great. Excellent. And you're behind all of this, aren't you?
I created the rescue 22 years ago, and I've collected games 40 years, so I've just put the 2 things together.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, great idea.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Well, I like anything like that is a building game. So City Builder Ancient World looks good, doesn't it? And then you've got a cooperative solo mode as well. So that adds that nice feature to this. Hi Joe.
Hi.
I had to stop by and check this out. I am myself very into like escape rooms and, you know, detective games.
Yeah,
Tell me a little bit more about this.
Yeah, sure. So we come from an escape game design background, and during the pandemic we thought, why not try and bring that to people's houses? So what we did is we designed tabletop games which basically encapsulate escape game puzzles, the logic and immersiveness behind escape games, and bring it to someone to play on their tabletop. So, for example, in this box are 6 episodes. It's essentially like a TV series. So this one starts with the curator of a museum dying after a mysterious artifact arrives at the museum. So you start by investigating the murder, and at the end of that first 60-minute episode, it gives you a little cliffhanger that leads you to the next episode, to the next episode, to the next, until you've finished all 6 and got a full TV show style plots. This one turns into a sort of thriller about cults, the occult, and about this mysterious artifact that's arrived at the museum, killed this curator, and what it means, kind of in the greater scheme of things in the world. I won't give too much away, obviously.
Yeah, that's it,
too many cliffhangers.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
But yeah, it's very spooky.
So how many hours of gameplay?
So it's about 9 to 12, we would say. So it's about 60 minutes to 90 minutes per episode. So we recommend maybe one a week or one a month. There's a little synopsis at the start of each episode to catch you up to where you were.
Yeah.
So we recommend doing them over a series of time, over like a course of time, over a few months will be lovely.
That's a good amount of time in that box, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's a lot of content.
Solving all that,
and not all the content is necessarily essential to the puzzles or anything like that. We've got a lot of websites. You're texting characters, you're emailing characters. There's a whole website. This one is based on the National museum of mythology and legends. There's a whole like world of websites and media out there as well that kind of deepens and widens the world.
So there's a lot to it, isn't there? Then
There is.
it's not just in the box, but it expanded out from.
So it's like an ARG or an XR game where a lot of technology comes into play as well. Our little demo game that we have on our tables at expos, well, in this new one, you've got to text a dealer. Sort of gently implies it's a drug dealer, turns out to be a comic book dealer.
Oh, really?
Nothing untoward. But yeah, so you're sort of texting him, giving a little bit of information and trying to get a bit of information back to solve a puzzle in the game. So yeah, there's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun making it and also try to give the players fun whilst they're playing it. A lot of tongue-in-cheek jokes. So yeah.
Excellent, yeah. So you need an internet connection to be able to.
You do, yeah.
Obviously,
You do,
a lot of people have an internet connection now, don't they?
Well, we sort of like wanted to create something that felt deeply immersive. So all of the puzzles in it, there's nothing that's like, oh, here's a bit of maths, or oh, here's a massive logical leap. Like, usually if you can think through the puzzle logically how you would in real life, then that's how you solve the puzzles in our games. So if you need to text an employee of the museum to find out if they were in that night to get a piece of information about what they saw, you'll text that employee. So it's all kind of like step-by-step logical solutions to all the problems.
That's great. And I just noticed the Detective Society, the Family Adventures one.
Yes, this is our kids' game. I say that, some adults still find it a little perplexing, but yeah, so these are sort of like slightly more tame 40-minute games. Missing Potion's about a professor who's created an invisibility potion. The invisibility potion's been stolen and the employee can't be found, shockingly. Time Travel Trouble's about some artifacts that have been stolen from a museum that have altered the course of time and you need to return them. And the Smash Pinata's about a clown who's stolen a diamond and hidden it in a pinata. So they're, yeah, a little bit shorter. Yeah. Again, a lot of fun. The puzzles may be a little bit more simple, quite tactile as well.
That's good.
One of them you have to kind of put a coin on a little page and put it in the right places to find letters. More kids targeted, but still quite a lot of fun, I think. Well, we hope anyway.
And just also, Joe,
Yeah.
can this be passed on to someone else?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's nothing destructible in it. So what you would do is you would just play through it carefully, making sure not to scribble on anything yourself, and then repackage it and give it to a friend. And we sort of actively encourage it because we hope that once you've played one, it hooks you on, and then they want to buy the whole season as well. And yeah, so we know that people dislike destructible elements, or certainly can do, so we try and avoid that as much as possible when designing them.
That's
so,
great.
Yeah.
That's a real good, important thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Element
I think
in this.
we heard it. People were very passionate about it when we first started out, so we tried to really incorporate that into it. So.
Perfect. Thank you, Joe.
No problem. Thank you.
I must admit, I really do like this stall. Really well presented. Well, it's a pleasure meeting you, Justin.
Nice
I
to meet you.
understand that you are the designer of Castle Panic.
That is me. Castle Panic's my baby. I'm very proud of it.
Excellent. Now, I've played Castle Panic in the past, but I didn't realise that you had expansions, and I didn't know you had a big box out. Either.
Yes, we do. Yep. A couple of years ago, we did the second edition of Castle Panic. So you may have seen it years ago. It looked a little different. We gave it a new art update, so now it has a better look to it. And then, yes, we've added expansions over the years. We've for a couple of years now, we've had Wizard's Tower, Dark Titan, and Engines of War. But last year, 2 years ago, we did Crowns and Quests. This is the newest expansion. I'm very proud of it because it essentially now adds missions and quests that you have to do along with playable characters. So for the first time ever, you actually get to be a playable character. Now the trick is you live in one of the castles, and if it gets destroyed, you have to move to another castle, or if there's no castles left, you lose your special power. But it's very good. And you also have large quests you have to complete that have different tasks. You'll have to use different components in the expansion to get through that. One of the fun things about Crowns and Quests I'm very proud of is you can still play this with first edition Castle Panic. Even though the art is different, the pieces aren't combined in a way that's going to like muddy things up or give anything away. It's all standalone for the thing, so you can play it with anything.
That's really good, isn't it?
And to celebrate that, we made the big box, which is literally everything in one box, along with a bunch of promos that normally you would have to get off our website. We've added those now too, so it's a pretty big box too. You got to lift up with your legs when you pick that one up.
It's great that you pulled that out because I know there's going to be a lot of people that are big fans of the series,
Right.
playing the game. So yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, we've been excited to expand the line for a long time now, and we feel like we've taken it a really good place.
That's great. Well, thank you very much, Justin. It's been a pleasure meeting you.
You too. Take care.
Hi, Nathaniel.
Are you alright? Nice to meet you.
I had to stop by because I know a lot of people are a big fan of the Exploding Kittens games. What new games have you got for us?
So this is our newest Exploding Kitten version. So it's inspired from the Netflix show that's coming out in July. Tom Ellis is voicing the God Cat. There's a whole new artwork for the new variant of the game. You can use it as a standalone, but you can also combine it with other decks and use it as expansion since there's new cards. You have about like 6 new cards, and main one of them is the Armageddon card. This card makes the good versus evil battle. So you have the God Cat versus Devil Cat. And what you would do is you would pass somebody, you'd look at it secretly, and then you would pass somebody one of the cards you wanted. They would choose to keep or swap. If they had the Devil Cat, they would have to diffuse. If the God Cat, they can use it as any card in the game apart from a note. So that's one of the main gameplays for this one.
Yeah, I like that. I like that little twist on it.
And it just adds, it keeps the game fresh for people that have been playing a long time, adds new gameplay elements.
And that really will help you continue to play it, won't it?
And we've got Power Hungry Pets. This is a twist on Love Letter. It's quite a popular game. Where you're eliminating each other in rounds, and at the end of the game, normally it's whoever's got the highest number wins. There are a few exceptions. But it's got its own twist, its own Exploding Kittens kind of twist on it. And with the artwork, and some of the cards work a bit differently. And then there's a Love Letter thing to show the collaboration.
Yeah, Love Letter's another really popular one.
And it's quite a good idea to work together.
Yeah,
this one's also based off another game. It's like an English exclusive because I don't think there was an English version of this game. So how it works is you're working collaboratively to put things in order. So you might have an example for like, I've run out of toilet paper. What am I going to use instead? Be the worst case scenario, best case, and then the worst one would be like sandpaper, and then the best would be like kitchen towel instead, or something like that. And then you get first to 3 points wins if you get it in order, or if you get 3 losses, then you lose. So there's 10 cards you deal out. So you might be like, someone gets 2, 5, 8, 9, and you want to make sure you get the lowest to highest right from what the person said. You try and gauge what they've said to the number of the card. But you can't give away the number, but you can try and help them out and figure it out together. It's good fun, collaboratively, That's good.
Great, thank you. And what was this game?
Yeah, this one is Danger. This one is like, you can do like 1v1, 2v2, 4v4. And the aim of the game is to have like the most suitcases on the cards. When you're placing cards, it's higher or lower than the number on the cards as well. You have a 1 minute timer going at the same time, and you don't know when it's going to go off. If you don't go like out like that, and the timer's gone off, then you lose. So you've got to be careful, like and so it's got the most suitcases at the end. It's quite fast. We're always like spamming cards and trying to keep track of the time at the same time.
Good. Yeah, they're nice variation, aren't they?
Yeah.
Completely different.
They're
great party games, aren't they? That
exactly.
You put out. So brilliant. Yeah, thank you, Nathaniel.
Cheers, thank you.
Well, nice to meet you, Nat. So I can see that you've got this Marvel game here.
Yeah, so we're here at Games Expo talking about Marvel Mission Arena. Fantastic opportunity to get the Marvel Universe into a trading card game. So to start off, we've got 2 teams on the starter decks. So you've got Avengers and Spider-Man. Contents of what's in the box is just in front of you there. So you get the playmat, tokens, gaming cards, full deck of cards, and a shiny to start your collection. Full set of rules and the all-important collector sheet, which shows you everything that you can get your hands on if you complete your collection. Obviously, once you've got your starter deck, you might want to enhance the deck with boosters, so they're also available. And then gameplay revolves around the map. 1 team, Avengers, versus the Spider-Man. There are a number of games to play. Obviously the complexity and the time taken increases, but usually we start everybody off with a very simple, get 10 mission points, and the gameplay can usually last 4 or 5 minutes just as an entry-level game.
That's excellent. So you can collect more cards
Yeah, in fact, I've got
to really build it up.
to show you the full collection.
Oh, wow.
We've got one set here,
Yeah.
which will show you what, if you collected every single card, you obviously get 55 cards and a shiny, so 56 in your starter deck.
Yeah, I like the shiny cards as well.
Everyone loves the shiny, so when we get to the back, they get rarer and shinier. So you can see the red there, so they're all the villains. Blue as the superheroes. Grey are sort of neutral. You can see a lot of the fantastic artwork. from
Yeah,
Marvel.
it is beautiful, isn't it?
You can start to see the shinies starting to appear now. They get rarer. And then you get the full sort of holographic effect. You see they're starting to get the...
Yeah, you can see the way they upscale the...
See there on the holographics.
Yeah,
You go and so there's 219 cards in total.
is
The
there?
first wave.
So it takes a bit of time to be able to get the rare ones. You've got to keep trying to collect.
Oh yeah, so that, you will get a holo in every booster, but obviously there's certain rarities which are harder to find or more desirable to collect.
That's great, brilliant. Thank you for speaking with us today.
You're welcome. Thanks very much.
Well, hello Steve. I hear you've got a party game here.
We certainly have
A music theme.
music theme party game. So it's Hitster music party game. So in your Hitster box, you get 304 cards. Each of them has the name of the artist, the year the song was released, and the name of the song. But the game's not as complicated as you may think. So you need to download a Hitster app, which is a free Hitster app. You then need to have a Spotify account, but you need the free Spotify. You don't have to have the premium paid Spotify account. And the idea is you are looking to create a timeline. So you start with a card that will start your timeline. You then scan the back of the card. It then takes you straight to the record. You then play the track. And all you've got to do is decide whether it goes before or after 1973.
I see, yeah.
So as this is Birmingham's finest UB40, I know that this is going to be well after 1973.
I see.
So I play it into space. So we have 10 decades of music. We cover every musical genre you can think of. So again, pretty obvious it's going to be post 1989. So I'm putting it down there. Right again. So essentially that is the gameplay, but you play against somebody. You also start with 3 tokens, and if you think they've placed the card in the wrong place in the timeline, you can put your token down where you think it should be placed.
Oh, I see.
And steal their card for your timeline if they're wrong and you're right. And that's the simplicity. The genius is in the simplicity in this game, because it's more about recollection of a song where you were, school, university, weddings, sitting in the car, listening to TV with your mum, singing along.
Yeah.
That's how the whole game works. So it's very simple. However, if you feel as though you can play a little bit more, you could actually go for the actual year, actual name of the song, actual artist. So like all good party games, you can make the rules up as you go along should you want to.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it retails at $22.99. It's available in the UK at the moment, so that's pretty much it's the party game.
Excellent.
And we work for Jumbo Games, so
Well, thank you very much again, Steve, for explaining that.
okay, good stuff.
Hi, Leanne. Right, I was really taken in by this little setup that you've got here. Tell us more about this
So
game.
this is Avalon. So the concept behind Avalon is that it's based in Camelot. So it's all about discovery and wonder. So essentially the concept behind the game is it's set just after the war between Arthur and Mordred. And Arthur has been kidnapped by the Lady of the Lake. And the whole concept of the game is that Guinevere is trying to rescue Arthur from the mist. Okay? So the idea behind the game is 2 to 4 players. It is everybody versus everybody. and it's a discovery game. So as you play through the game, you turn over the cards and you start discovering different sections of the map. So the map begins completely covered in mist, and then as you deploy your units around the map, you get to turn over the things, and then you can decide if you want to capture them later on in the battle. So the game is split into 3 seasons, and the way that it works is each season is essentially like a round. So everybody gets a chance to open up the map. Then everybody gets a chance to decide if they want to settle in certain places of the map, and they battle for the control of each of the places. And then after each round, the map completely resets. So everything goes back in, it all gets shuffled in, and new tiles get put out. So the map constantly changes as the game changes. The idea behind the game is to win victory points. So you can win victory points either by claiming territories, you can attack monsters, you can gain artifacts, which you discover as the game goes on. And then the really nice thing about this game is, because for me as a player, I'm always behind, I'm always the loser, I'm always so far out of the game. With this one, it's got a really nice catch-up mechanic. So if you are the last player, what happens later on in the game is something called the Green Knight gets dispatched, which is just down here.
Yeah.
And the Green Knight essentially fights for you. So he fights on your side, he helps you to catch up. So if you are in last place, you have a fair chance against everybody else to catch back up in the game. So I think that's generally the overview of it. Obviously the artwork is just stunning.
Yeah, it really is.
And it's all card based, so it's spend cards to use cards.
Yeah.
But it's got that mixture of the discovery, it's got the mixture of the unique abilities of each of the characters. So yeah.
Excellent. And of course the map can vary every time you play it, can
Yes,
it?
absolutely.
Yeah.
So there's 18 pieces in total. So at the moment we're demoing 8 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So what would happen after every single round is that you would shuffle them back in and it would change every time. So it's a unique map every single round plus every single game.
Excellent. Well, that's great. Thanks for talking to us today.
You're very welcome.
I was quite intrigued by this when I was walking past, and it's got a lot of reviews, good reviews. Final Girl Series 2. We've obviously had the first series that came out at some point, and you've got all of these extras. And they are like these. I'm probably going to have to ask more about it because I'm very intrigued by this. So I'm probably going to have a little chat with them. Hello, Nikolai.
Hello.
Can you tell us a bit about this concept? What this is all about? I mean, Final Girl. Is it sort of a horror theme?
Yes, it's based on inspired by different horror movies, and there are different feature films to choose from. Each feature film has 2 final girls. You choose one to play.
Yeah.
Each feature film has 1 location and 1 killer. The one we have set up here is Camp Happy Trails. It's like a camping site for holidays.
Yeah.
And the killer is Hans the Butcher. He's like a strong guy with a sledgehammer. And this is a solo game, so you play, 1 person is playing, and the only win condition is you have to defeat the killer. And if the final girl dies, then the game is over.
I see. Yeah.
For each feature film, there's different setups, so you could have each game be a little bit different. It shows you where to place the final girl, where to place the killer, where to place there are some also innocent victims on the map, and during the game you can try to save the victims by taking them to an exit space, the little green ones, and what that does is you get an immediate bonus. You choose a bonus which you would take, and if you save enough victims, you will flip the card and get an ultimate ability. So for Lori, it's whenever she inflicts damage, she inflicts more damage. Mm-hmm. And for every final girl, the ultimate ability is different. So you can save victims, but it's not required to win. It can help you a little bit. And also, when a killer would attack a victim, he would kill them, and then his blood would rise, bloodlust. So he's going to get faster, more powerful, a dark power could be revealed, so like a special ability.
Yeah.
So you have to decide whether it's worth to save the victims or do other stuff. And the way the game is played is you have action cards which you're going to be playing.
Yeah.
First you start off with the basic cards. They are the zero cost cards, and those cards, they are walk cards for getting around the board. There's a weak attack card for attacking but just for 1 damage, a short rest for getting health, and there's 2 focus cards. The focus cards are used here because there's a horror level, and it means how stable the situation is. And based on that, you're going to be rolling some dice. If you manage to calm the situation down, you're going to be rolling 3. Most of the time it's 2, and if it gets too hectic, you're going to be only using 1. So the way you play, you start your turn with 6 units of time. If I want to move, I would play a walk card. I would see I'm allowed to use 2 dice. I take dice and I throw them. And let's say I roll a 5 and a 1. So the stars are successes. And based on how well I rolled, I see how well I did with the action. So for 1 success, I could move 1 space on the board and use up 1 unit of time. If I got 2 successes, I would move 2 spaces in the same amount of time. If I got no successes, so like a 2 and a 2 and a 2 and a 1, then I don't move at all, and I either lose 2 time because maybe I fall over and I have to get up, or if I really need to get somewhere, I can move, but then I lose 1 health because I overextend.
Yeah.
And the dice, they are 1s and 2s is no success, 5 and 6 is success, and 3s are 4, and 4s are partial successes. When I would roll, for example, a 1 and a 3, it means a partial success, and then I could choose to discard any 2 cards from my hand to make this into a success. So you have to decide whether those cards are maybe important for you during the next turn, or you can sacrifice them to get a success. The turn ends when either time goes below 0, so you've used up all of your time, when you've used up all of your cards, or you can stop at any time. Let's say I walked twice, I focused, so I have 3 time remaining. I can stop now, I keep the cards I have in my hand for later, or I can discard some cards to gain 1 time each. For example, I could discard short rest because I'm at full health.
Yeah.
I keep the rest of the cards, and I have 4 time remaining. And the time remaining is the currency with which I can buy cards from the tableau. And those cards are more powerful cards than the basic cards. So like for a time I could buy 2 cost cards, a 1 cost and a 3, or a 4 cost card. And the cards are sprint for moving around the board faster, stronger attack cards, cards for defending, cards for re-rolling the dice or getting more, or a search card. A search card is used. There are some search spaces on the board, and each of those spaces has a corresponding item deck, and the items are like, could be a weapon, could be a tool, could be like a med kit to fill up. So you would use the search for that. After you have used your time to buy cards, time goes back to 6, and it's the killer's turn. There's a terror deck. You flip 1 card over, and it tells you what happens. So, for example, here the killer would target a victim, move towards the victim, and attack.
I see. Yeah.
There are also like different, like you could place 2 new victims, raise the horror, play some event card, and after you play one of those, then each killer also has a killer action. So for Hans, he will, if there's a final girl or a victim in his space, he will attack. And you, after the killer playing the terror card, okay, sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so once you've done the terror card and the killer action, it's the final ghost turn. You continue playing the final ghost turn and the killer's action. If all of the terror cards are flipped, then you flip the finale, and it's gives the killer additional ability, so he would be really fast and attack twice. And whoever is the last person standing is the winner. There's different feature films. You can also mix and match. You don't have to play out the same movie every time. You could have like Hans play in a spaceship, have another killer in the Happy Trail. So you are not limited to just
Very varied.
Yeah.
You really you can put it all together to make it like one unique kind of gaming experience with it. Yeah.
And also the basic 80% of the rules are always the same, but each feature film brings a new tweak to the rules. So maybe a new action card, some new ways to play.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Nikolai.
Thank you
for explaining that. Really, really appreciate that.
If you want to see more, check out part 3. Please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing.